Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how I got from here to here. Isn't that amazing? From here to here. Without wasting your time, I'll be showing you every process involved from the extraction down to the cleaning of the background, how we got the flawless background. Without wasting your time, let's get started. So just want to do away with this. Okay, let's just go back to your file. My file is right on the desktop here, and you just pick your file and load into Photoshop. So guys, here we are in Camera Raw, and I've done a little bit of adjustment to the image. If you want to get my video on how to extract and color grade your pictures with Camera Raw, I have a series of videos on that. Please do well to check them out. But just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to walk you through the process. I might necessarily not be explaining all, but then walk you through every process I've taken. So the first thing I did was this is the raw format, and this is the little adjustment I made. So the first thing I did was just to come to my exposure and basic here, and just did a little bit of adjustment on the highlights, and I adjusted the shadow as well, play with the whites to +3, then I adjusted the black as well. Then I worked on my vibrance. I pushed it up a little bit to +6. I think that's all that I did. And my temperature, I reduced it to 6200, that's 6200. And on that, then I moved to my color mixer. I worked on my hue, just a little bit of adjustment on the green. I pushed it up to +55. Then my saturation, I pushed the red up because of her clothes. And then the oranges, I reduced the saturation to -16. Then the greens to -29 as well. The luminance, I did nothing. And I moved to my calibration. So I told you earlier, I just did a little bit of adjustment. Please do well to visit some of my videos. I did a more explanatory videos on how to extract and color grade. You will find a lot of them. And on my calibration, the first thing I did was just increase the saturation of this red primary to +1. Then green primary, I increased the saturation as well to +9. Then on the blue primary, I increased the saturation to +20. Pardon my voice, like I said earlier, I'm having cold, so please just bear with me. So that's all that I did here. So it's just basic things. Then the next thing I did is I did a little bit of masking, and I'm going to show you. And okay, the max one here, I worked on the subject itself. So I tried to work on the subject and the background separately. And why did I do that? I want a little bit of contrast between the subject and the background, and I want the background to be a little bit dark. So if you come to your mask, Photoshop or Camera Raw is going to help you select, and it's kind of accurate. It might not be perfect, but then it simplified the whole thing for you. So you just select your subject, and Camera will just select everything for you. So once you are done with that, when the selection is done, I came to my, as you can see, this max one is just subject. I came to my light, and I just push up the light a little bit to +30, and my shadow as well, I push it up to +8, and I came to my color, just push the temperature up to +3 towards yellow, and then the saturation as well, I push it up to +4. I want it a little bit saturated, and that's all that I did on the subject. Then I came to my background, which is max 2. You can see this is the background selected. Then I worked on my light. I told you earlier I want it a little bit darker, so I push it down to -50. You can see this is the original one. Okay, this is the original. Then I push it to -50. Yeah, I push it to -50. Then I think that's all that I did there. See, they're just basic things. Then the color temperature, I push it to -7 towards blue, and my saturation as well, I push it towards -9. And I think that's all that I did on the extraction process. So that's all that I did. So then once you are done with that, you could just try it out as well. So once you are done with that, this gives us before and after. That's the first thing that I did. Then you just open your good. Here we are now. You can see this is the raw, just the little adjustment that we made. You can see the difference already. You can see it before and after, and we are still going further. Okay, so and that's the exact place I want to explain and pay more attention. So the first thing you want to do is this particular clean all the blemishes. It's very important, please. Very important. Make sure you clean them properly. So I'm going to pause the video, but before then I'm going to show you how to go about it. You can just pick your healing brush tool here, but the patch tool is what I'm going to use for this video. So just pick your patch tool and just clean it out like that. Okay, just like that, you could see. Alright, just make sure, please, it's very important, this particular part, it's important that you clean it out properly, clean out everything, every distraction. Okay, for this part I'll just use my select all, then I'll just use, what's it called again, fill. Just use your fill, any parts nice, then you make sure it's on content aware and just click OK. Alright, you can see we are done on that. So like I said earlier, I'm going to pause the video. I don't want to waste any of your time, then we'll come back to it. Yeah, welcome back guys, welcome back. And if you can see now, I've done cleaning. I deliberately paused the video. Like I said, I don't want to waste any of your time. So if you can see, let me show you briefly. Look at the patches and the dirt we have on the background. Look at what we have now clean up. So just take a few seconds or about a minute, and please, this part, it's very important. And when you're cleaning up the background, don't create a new layer, just work on the background itself. Like you can see here, no new layer, no duplicates, whatever. It's just the background. And please, if you observe one other thing again, you discover that you see that there's a little bit of shadow on the background here. Let me zoom in so that you see. Sorry about that. Okay, look at what we have here, a little bit of shadow. I left it while cleaning the background. You see that I didn't remove it because I want it to still be part of the background even after we have smoothing everything and we have a flawless background. I still want the shadow so that the image won't float. That's why I left it there. So when you are cleaning up any details you want on the background, please don't clean it up, just find a way around it. And once that is done, make sure you do a proper cleanup. Like I said, I've repeated this about how many times now because it's very important. How flawless your background is going to be depends on the cleanup that you do. So if that is done, the next thing you want to do is you want to come to your select here and select subject. Alright, so Photoshop is going to help you select, and if you are using older version of Photoshop and you don't have this particular function, then you probably need to select the image manually, but then I'll tell you that will take you some time. But maybe you should just upgrade to some of the latest versions, and I think that will be fine. So Photoshop probably might not do a perfect job, but I think it's close to perfect. And any other part that is not involved, you just pick up your what's the name of the tool again, quick selection tool here, and just add it up just like that. And if you look at this part, Photoshop didn't do a great job, so you just hold on your Alt, add this to minus, and then you just subtract. Just pick up your lasso tool here and just the parts you don't want to just take them out. It's just so the selection is not perfect enough for you. You could just check out the images, and like this part now, just hold on your Alt so it will change to minus, and minus means you're going to subtract. You get, so you just subtract that part because that part is its background, so and we don't want it to be selected as part of the subject. So I think we are cool. So you could take your time and just do a proper selection. I know you're wondering that this part of the hair is not perfect enough, but don't worry, I will teach you how to go about that when we are done. So this part of the ear, you just want to adjust it a little bit. Okay, just like that. So basically what you do is just any parts that shouldn't be part of the subject, you just take them out, and parts that needed to be added, you add them to the subject. I hope that explanation is simple enough, and I think this is close to perfect. And the next thing you want to do is, don't forget, we want to duplicate this layer. And how we're going to duplicate, we're not going to use Ctrl G or Command T. No, we're just going to come to the background itself and just drag it and duplicate. Then after the duplicate, the next thing you want to do is you want to mask it. So just click on your mask like this, and we are getting set. So once that is done, you come back to your background, and what we want to do now, I want to use gradient map. We won't be using blur, we use gradient map. So just come to your old gradient map, always helpful. Just click on it and you have this. So just click on this, and please, when you are doing this, make sure your sample size is set to 5x5 average, or 3x3, or 11x11. Don't put it on point sample to avoid it picking up noise, so I prefer 5x5. So this is what we want to do. this is the brightest area and this is the darkest area. So we'll come to the background, we click on this slider down and click on color, and we'll select on the background the brightest area. So let's select somewhere around here. We'll click OK, and then we'll come to this darkest area. We'll click on it, come to color, click on color, then we'll select the darkest area. Let's say the darkest area is around here. Click here and click OK. Now if this brightest area, if you are not comfortable with it, you can always come back to it and click on color, and probably you just adjust it a little bit. That's if you want. So then you click OK, then click OK like that. Then now what you need to do is just hold your shift so that we can make a straight line. Then you just drag from somewhere around here like this and just boom. You can see that I deliberately did that because if you look at it carefully, hold on a minute, we did something that I need to check. Let's go. Okay, if you look at it now, we are working directly on the background. You discover that the gradient map that we just apply to the background directly, that's destructive, and we don't want that. So we're going to add a new layer on the background. Just add a new layer like this, then we can just do that again. If we do that directly on the background, it's kind of destructive and it's not good. So just come, you discover that there's a line here. Let me zoom in so that you see there's a line that is kind of a sharp line here. I don't want that to disappear. So I'm just going to come, let me zoom in closer so that we can see. And I'll just hold my shift because I want the gradient, and we apply it to be very straight. So I just come from around here that we have light just slightly above the shadow area here, then I just drag just like that. Okay, now look at it. We have that's the straight sharp line is still there, and we have a flawless background. I know someone will be asking that this is floating. Yes, of course I know this is floating, and we can't even use it like this. Some part of the hair is gone, some part of the body. Now quickly on that, if there's any part of the subject that is gone, you can always, that's why we have it on mask, you can always bring out your mask. See all these rough edges, you can always bring them back. Like here now is part of the background, we don't want it, so make sure pick up your brush, set the opacity to 100, the flow on 100 as well, and it could be on black heights. See, you just hide those edges like this, and if you are to reveal anything, you just make sure it's white, and you just reveal part of the cloth that is gone. I hope we understand that. So it's just as simple as that. So if there's any parts that is gone that you want them back, like all these edges, you can always bring them back. Just as simple as that. So now the next thing you want to do from here is we want to the background is too flawless, and if you zoom in into the image, you discover that we have some noise on the image, and we want to introduce some noise as well on the background. So what we want to do is we'll create a new layer. Just hold your Control Shift N. We have a new layer. Change your mode to overlay, and then check on this fill with overlay neutral color 50% gray. Click OK. Okay, now we have this. The next thing we want to do is change it to smart object, so that convert to smart object, so that if there's anything we want to adjust, we can always come back and adjust. So now let's zoom in into the image. You come to your filter, come to noise, add noise. Now okay, right, 37. Just look at the noise you have on the image and the background and just work on it. That depends on your choice. Now so something around 30, let me see. Okay, I think something around 36 is okay for me. If this your monochromatic is not checked on, please check it on. I'll show you the difference. See when it's not monochromatic, and okay, look at it. It's not on monochromatic right now, but when you click on monochromatic, the effect is more. I love this effect. That's my personal stuff. Then just click OK on that. Okay, now so you see the background is looking more realistic, but then if you zoom in again, you discover that the noise is just too sharp, and we don't want that. It's too sharp. So what you need to do is just come back again to your filter and come to your blur and Gaussian blur, and the blur, let's take it back to 0.1. okay, around 0.6, 0.5. I think it's okay for me. 0.5 is okay, and boom, you discover that. Okay, look at it, and you just have flawless background. And I know the last thing you're asking right now is that it's still floating, and what about the shadow I talked about earlier? And that's a beautiful thing you're thinking right there. So just come to your background layer here. Remember the gradient map, the gradient map, my bad, sorry about that. The gradient that we created, just come to that layer and that's why when we made mistake earlier, I had to come back and just adjust it. So you just come back and reduce the opacity to around maybe 60 something, say around 68, and look at what we have. Around 65, I think I'm okay with this. And just look at it. It's back. It's just back, and you can enhance it the way you want. You can use your curves and all that to just enhance your thing. And if you think the noise we added to the image is too much, you can always come back to your smart layer. That's why it's in smart layer. This smart layer here, and just click on noise. It will take you back to the noise. You see, so you can just reduce, and that's why it's non-destructive. And it's cool that you work on smart object. At times you can always adjust. Even the blur, we can always come back and readjust, and just look at it from where we started. After we extracted the image, just look at it, and now this is just flawless. Like I said, if there's any part you want to bring back into the subject, you always have your background copy here that we have the subject that is marked. You can always pick up your brush and paint in back anything, any part you want. Like this part of the hair that is done, let me just quickly do that. Pick up your brush, select on the marks, and just you can reduce the opacity to, let's say, around 40, because I want to work on the strand of the hair. So you just reduce the brush and I just paint like that. Yeah, I know you might be thinking, okay, you can see they're coming back. Yes, of course, this is not cool. So just change your brush back to black, and we just painting back the noise. And this time around, we now be careful so that we don't work on the hair. You see, just like that. Painting back just like that. Alright, you can see the sound of the hair is just back. So just the more time you take on doing that, the more better results you have. By the time you master it, this will not even take you up to 2 minutes to do. So look at where we are coming from, look at before, and just look at now. Look at the raw image and look at what we have. So my friends, and now brings us to the end of the tutorial. If you know you've learned something, please like, subscribe, and share. And meanwhile, I have other videos on flawless background like this, and detailed video on how to extract a raw image. See you in my next tutorial.